Hi, my name's Charlie Turnbull. This is Delishops Discovers. We are talking Scottish Retail Food and Drink Awards finalists. And for that, we have Melanie Auld with Spice Pots. Congratulations on becoming a finalist, Melanie.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Lovely to meet you. And we're very excited by the awards.
It is amazing. Now, I have to say, I received a sample of this. This is some of the most beautiful packaging. I absolutely adore it. Tell us about your products and tell us about you.
So I'm Melanie. We're based in Scotland, and I started Spice Pots around 6 years ago, primarily, totally and wholly to make it more convenient and quicker to make healthy curry at home. That is my mission when I set up, and that is still my mission. I want people to eat lovely, healthy food, but given the challenges of time that we all have, perhaps not recently, but usually, it's a bit of a hassle sometimes to source and grind and blend all the spices you need for curry. So my aim was always to reduce that ingredients list, pairing our blends, our fresh and aromatic blends with very basic ingredients to produce gorgeous, simple home-cooked food. That's our goal.
It's amazing. With the right spices, it just lifts the dish in a way that it feels almost impossible to encapsulate until you've tasted it that way. It makes it bigger, like it's got an aura about it of flavour.
Definitely, and I think particularly with people trying to eat less meat and to jazz up vegetables and really any sort of basic ingredients, it's a very, very simple process. And as I say, they're all blended. We've done the hard work of getting the balance right and the flavour, which sometimes I think people can get wrong at home and they have too much of one thing and not enough of the other. It also means that you don't run out of stuff. I know that when most people go to make a curry, they run out of something halfway through and they haven't got it or it's out of date. So we're aiming to be a store cupboard essential. So rather than a curry kit, it's a store cupboard essential. It's kind of like a posh curry powder, effectively. And you can follow one of our many recipes, and that's one of our other key differences, is that we provide a huge range of recipes in with which to use our spices. So whether it's a curry or a rub or a marinade or putting in stir fry, and again, it's for everyday use. You don't have to wait for a special occasion. And we very much focus on lifestyle as well. So people that can't eat certain things, or they're gluten-free or they're dairy-free, whatever it might be, we keep bringing out new recipes and therefore drawing in new customers.
So I'm going to ask the obvious questions before we move on to sort of the detail. All of these, I'm assuming, are completely vegan and ambient.
Yes, they are vegan, ambient. All of them are just, apart from in tandoori masala, we have garlic and ginger powder, but other than that, they are all just pure 100% spices, nothing, no salt, no fillers, no nothing, which is why you don't need to use as much of them, and they come in smaller containers because we don't have those big fillers that often other supermarket varieties might have, for example.
And they're all going to have really good shelf lives. I mean, this is a really, it's not just about what sits in store. It's just that a person might want these to sit in their store cupboard for a few months and that kind of thing.
Exactly. So they've got 18 months shelf life on production. So we give our retailers a minimum of 12 months from when they buy the product. So and obviously, they're safe to use beyond that, but yes, 12 months, and they're ambient, so they're very easy to store. They're nice and light. They don't take up a lot of space, and they add a massive colour impact on the shelves as well.
They do. I really respect that. So let's get straight on to flavour. And so I've got 4 in front of me. I've got a korma, a bhuna, a goan, and a tandoori masala. I know that we're not going to cook something up here, but I would like to open one and taste it and feel it. So what one do you recommend?
Well, go for the bhuna because that's probably the most distinctive. They've got the fewest amount of spices in it. It's only got 6 spices in it. It's really, really important with this kind of curry powder to make it very balanced because it's got fenugreek seeds in it, which are very strong flavour, and they almost smell like curry, if you know what I mean. We think this tastes best with meat because it has got a very strong flavour, particularly with lamb, the lamb bhuna or a chicken bhuna. But it also can be used with vegetables very successfully. You can make a very simple vegetarian curry with it. But that's probably the most distinctive flavour. It's very different from the others.
I would agree with you. This feels like a meat-based spice. It needs the sort of the fat and the protein to sort of to be at its best. So, but it's got a fantastic aroma. It's got a real sense of freshness. There isn't a stale smell at all. It feels like you just ground it yourself.
Exactly.
It's delicious. I mean, I don't know what it's going to taste like, but it's the smell is astounding.
Well, I really recommend you use our lamb bhuna recipe. It's extremely simple to put together. You can put it together in 10 minutes, and obviously it takes a long time cooking with the lamb. Works beautifully in a slow cooker as well. And the focus really is on our recipes is that it's straightforward and simple, but it produces delicious results. All our blends are authentic in flavour, but our techniques to make the curries are not authentic. And I've done that very much on purpose so that, again, it's quicker. But the goan and the korma, for example, they're actually not dissimilar in the ingredients they have in them, but the goan is a lot spicier than the korma, but it's got hints of cinnamon and cloves. So it's not just about the heat, we're very much about the flavour as well. And I'd say these are fairly family friendly as well. The goan can be quite spicy, but you can just use less of it if you don't like the heat. And then the tandoori masala, as I say, it's got ginger and garlic powder in it. It's got 11 different ingredients in it, so it's full of flavour. It's brilliant. Works brilliantly as a marinade as well as a curry powder. So you can add it to yogurt and some lemon juice, and you can marinate prawns or chicken. So yeah, it's very versatile.
I can see that. I can see that. There is a huge trend at the moment in providing these. I think it's fair to use the phrase shortcuts from. People aspire to using and cooking and slow cooking and all that kind of thing, but having a huge range of spices in your cupboard, which you take a bit of this and a bit of that, that's hardcore, and not everyone has that available. So you're just taking a small step out and providing this very balanced approach to get to a specific taste outcome.
Yeah, and we find that even die-hard scratch cooking fans, once they've used these, they rarely stop using them. Because they are so convenient, and you can just use them for everyday dishes, or you can make something fairly special with them as well. So
I think I'm in that category. I always aspire to the scratch cooking curry. They always taste better, and if this can just bring the right spices straight to the table without me having to swear because I've forgotten to buy my fenugreek or whatever it is. So the other thing that I think that is big at the moment is rubs, and people, particularly as barbecue season is coming upon us, we hope anyway, that is these are very good for that. You can just do a slight coating over almost any kind of meat, or aubergines or whatever.
Just to add a tiny bit of oil, and you can rub it on halloumi. You can add in, we've got a very simple marinade recipe where using it with soy sauce and honey and things like that as well. That works really well. You can use them as seasoning in stir fries. I'm trying to think what else we're using for on the barbecue. Just marinating with yogurt, and we've got a delicious prawns recipe. You add them into burgers. We've got lamb bhuna burgers, all sorts of different things on there as well. So it's just seasoning, really. We're just trying to take the scariness out of spices. It's really just seasoning.
I think you've nailed it there, taking the scariness out of spices. These are accessible, they're easy to use, they're well volumed, they are equally balanced, there's no wastage, and people get an immediate understanding of what the collective is going to taste like from the fact that they're pre-mixed, rather than bring in lots of pots and go, I'm not quite sure of the outcome here.
Exactly, yeah. We hope to. That's the idea, to make it super simple.
Oh, brilliant. So now let's just check into your connection to Scotland. You are actually based in Scotland, I think East Lothian, out on the coast.
Right, yeah. So we're very lucky we live by the coast. I actually started the business when we moved to East Lothian. However, I had the idea for the business many, many years before, when I lived on the west coast of Scotland in a very isolated house with 3 tiny children. If you fast forward, I'd been to India years before that, so I've lived in India for about a year. I worked in an orphanage. I learned how to cook the most amazing Indian food as I travelled around the country. Very varied. The food is completely, different from north to south. And I used to cook proper Indian food for many, many years until I had my 3 little boys very quickly. And then as I was living in this very isolated house in the west coast of Scotland, I realised I could not anymore do the proper way, so the buying and the grinding and all of that. So I used to do this. I made this as a shortcut for myself, and I adapted the recipes for me. So I only needed to use one pan, and that's how it all started, really. So I used it for myself for years before I launched it as a business. And then when we moved over to East Lothian in 2012, I then started to develop the business then. So that's how it all started, really. So it is born out of a need for convenience more than anything else. Yeah.
Trying to do convenience without a compromise on quality or flavour.
Exactly that. Yeah. So, and I've no doubt that if you spent hours buying whole spices and grinding them and things, you probably would get a slightly better flavour. Or
let's not say that in public. No, let's just go with, these are awesome. Buy these. Let's go with that.
They are. But no, but as a shortcut, you're not. It's not. You don't realise it's a shortcut once you eat it. Let's put it that way.
Let's be honest. Most people are taking much bigger shortcuts called getting a takeaway. So this is about authenticity of flavor. This is about a freshness. This is about a home cooked experience. I mean, when we think about delis and farm shops, they have 3 areas where you can present products like this. They can have it in the spice racks. They can have it in the ready meal section, whatever that is for them, or they can have it adjacent to their butchery or meat counter.
And it sells extremely well on butcher's counters, actually, very well, because the obvious pairing.
Because that's what I'm seeing here. The size is very convenient for a spontaneous bit of inspiration. Going, let's give that a go. That can't be bad. I mean, they're nicely priced. They're going to go into the basket with the people, and once people have tasted one, they're going to come back and buy 2 or 3 more. That's where this is going to go.
Yeah, and also just to say, on each of the tins, we have a very basic recipe actually written on the tin. So if someone was to pick it up in a shop and it is an impulse buy, they can immediately see what else they would need to add to their basket to cook with it. The recipe is designed to be the most basic form, and obviously, once they investigate further, they can use it in other ways. But we've developed the packaging very much, and the information on the packaging, based on years and years of events that we did. And before I got to this stage, people would ask me the same questions over and over and over again. And I realized that the packaging wasn't addressing those questions. So this is all based on what people have asked me, and I now hopefully answer their questions. Whilst I'm not standing there, they can pick up the tin and hopefully have those questions answered, and then therefore buy the product.
That's brilliant, because that again builds loyalty amongst customers for a product and makes people search them out. I mean, you're telling a story here where you have road tested this product through your own kitchen for a very long time, and you've road tested the packaging against customers' needs, and this is not some newbie. This works.
It does work, and we're very confident now. We're very confident after years of making changes here and there. And obviously, we do respond very much to customer feedback. We're all about that. We don't have a business without our customers and our retailers. But we are fairly confident now that we have the majority of the answers on the packaging, and we've done this very much, as you say, through research. And so yes, we're fairly pleased with it. And we also have now, after demand from customers, we have refill sachets. So people tend to buy the tins once, and then they buy these recyclable refill packages, and they fill up the tins exactly the same weight. And these are obviously easy to display as well in shops and things. They come in cases of 6. So yes, so we've got that option as well. And again, that was born out of the demand from the customer who asked for that.
So if retailers or even food service people want to follow this up, they can contact you through the Delishops website. You're available there. But I'm assuming that you are available through your website, your own website. And are you available through wholesalers?
Yes, we've got about 9 different wholesalers in the UK. Do you want me to say who they are, or
let's put those on. Put on the Delishops on your showroom and your Delishops so people can find it there, because that's the important thing. They are strong availability, easy to access is an important part of the buyer's journey. So last up, you're a finalist. What would it mean to you to win the Scottish Retail Food and Drink Awards in your category?
Oh, I'd be so delighted. It's always such a boost for us you know, for any producer to get recognition for all of the work that we do behind the scenes. And it would just be immense. I'd be extremely proud and delighted, and especially because it's Scottish too, and we're obviously based here, so that would make me very, very happy. And it just gives us another little boost and to keep going for, you know, for as long as we need to. So yes, it would be awesome.
That's a lovely note to end on. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Melanie. Thank you very much for coming on Delishops Discovers, and best of luck when they announce the awards next week.
Many thanks, Charlie. Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.